Okay, so this is my card game that I made up called Base. And the way this game is played, well, it's pretty simple once you get the hang of it, but at first it can be rather difficult. So, to start off with, every single player, or both players, sorry, it's a two-player game, are issued 7 cards. And obviously, you will not know your opponent's cards. So, their cards are all flipped over. I have no idea what they are. And my 7 cards are uh, cards that I can use for this example. And these 2 cards in the middle do not belong to anybody. These are what are called the base cards. In this example, 10 of clubs and 3 of hearts. So, here is the deck in which you will draw from. And in case you run out of your cards, like let's say, I have many moves that I can make right now, but hypothetically saying, if I could not make a move or if I want to bluff, then I would take a card from the pile and I would draw it. However, I do not need to. The thing is, though, when you do draw, you can only draw 1 card, unless there's a other reason for you to draw, which I'll get into that in a moment. But you can only draw 1 card, and you are not allowed to play it. You cannot play it until your next turn. Alright. So, say I was the one who dealt out the cards, then my opponent would be the one to go first. And there is a couple other things with that, in which I will explain in a moment as well. But yeah, let's get into the actual rules of the game. So, as I said before, these are the 2 base cards, 10 of clubs and a 3 of hearts. And right here are all my cards. I have a queen of clubs, king of clubs, jack of hearts, 5 of diamonds, 5 of hearts, and then I have a black joker and a red joker. And I understand not every single card set has the 2 jokers that are assigned with colors. And for this game, that needs to be a thing. So maybe put like like a bit of tape on top of it with a coloring of some sort. Whatever you want to do, because you require a black and a red joker. It is important. So, since the base cards are 10 of clubs and 3 of hearts, I need to place down 2 cards, no matter what. I cannot just place down 1 card. I cannot place down 3. I have to place 2 cards. No more, no less. So, say I want to place King of Clubs. And then I also want to place the Jack of Hearts. Now, the reason I'm able to place these is because the Jack of Hearts lines up with the 3 of Hearts base card. And then the King of Clubs lines up with the 10 of Clubs base card. Because these are both clubs, and these are both hearts. So I'm able to place these. And since these are face cards have special abilities assigned to them. So the Jack would if I place the Jack, my opponent is required to draw 2 cards. And they are not allowed to go for that turn, so it would instantly go back to me. And also, because I placed the King, I would be able to decide what type of symbol I want. And no matter what, the king value of this card will remain a king value. So I can't just change this to a 5. And I can't change this jack to anything other than a jack. Those values will remain the same. The value that I'm talking about is the clubs or the hearts. So since I placed down a king, I'm able to change it to spades, clubs, hearts, or diamonds. Now, say I place down the queen of clubs instead of the king of clubs, I would only be able to switch it to clubs or spades, because this is a black queen. Every deck would have 2 black queens and 2 red queens. And placing this card down or the king, I have to choose something to switch it to. So I cannot just leave it as clubs and hearts, or I cannot just change one of their values. I have to change both of these cards' values to something. So we will say for this scenario that I changed it to hearts. But that honestly doesn't really matter, because I'm going to pretend I didn't play this so I can show you some other things. So this person would get their 2 cards reversed, but that's not actually something that would happen in the game. This is just an example to help you learn how to play the game. Now, for the jokers, I might as well get these 2 parts out of the way because this is very simple. Placing so because this card right here is black, and the black joker will line up with that. Jokers line up with whatever their color is. So as long as there's a black card down, I can place the black joker. As long as there's a red card down, I can place the red joker. Right here, there's a black and red, so I can place both of these down. If I place black and red down, this is a special move that I like to call the Jester. The Jester requires the opponent to draw 8 cards, and then I, as the person who put these 2 cards down, the 2 jokers, I can place any 2 cards that I have on the deck. The Jester is the most overpowered move in the entire thing, in my opinion. However, let's say I didn't do the Jester. Let's say I decided to place down the 5 of hearts and then the black Jester. Then the black joker, not the Jester. The Jester is both of them. And I place down the black joker with the 5 of hearts, because again, 5 of hearts matches up with the 3 of hearts, because they both are hearts. And then the black joker lines up with the 10 of clubs, because the 10 of clubs is a black card. This would require my opponent to draw 4 cards, because I placed a joker. Each joker makes the opponent draw 4 cards. And then in this scenario, I cannot place anything that matches with this. So even though the black joker matches with all blacks, there is nothing that matches up with the joker. Not even another joker. So say I wanted to do something, and technically this would still be allowed, but I haven't gotten into that part yet, so we will ignore it. So say this card doesn't exist, I cannot place this joker on top of the joker just because it's a joker. There needs to be a red card down for me to place this, no matter what. And then, since there's a black joker down in a 5 of hearts, just because there's a black joker down does not mean I can place my king of clubs or my queen of clubs just because they're black cards. Nothing matches up with the joker. That is a very important rule that must be understood. Now for the next portion, this is a also very simple part. So something that must be understood is, I am unaware if I already covered this or not, but the jack, if the jack is played, forces the opponent to draw 2. I believe I did cover that. But what I didn't cover is that the ace, if I place down an ace card, that requires my opponent to draw 1 card. And then again, it would go straight back to me, since they had to draw. And then, time for 2 move sets that I have named. So, let's say I wanted to place these 2 cards, Jack of Hearts and the 5 of Hearts. I'm able to place both of these because of this 1 card right here. Now, if I did place both of these, that would be a move called a flip. And the reason for this is because I'm basically taking this card and flipping it over. Because neither of the 2 cards that I'm putting down here match up with this card. Now, you're not actually flipping it over, it's just metaphorically. But I would be able to place both of these down and perform a flip. And again, since this is a jack, that my opponent would have to draw 2. Now, for another move, let's say I wanted to place this down. 5 of hearts. Okay, well, I need a second card. Now, as we established, I'm capable of placing Jack of Hearts. I'm capable of placing the Joker, and I'm also capable of placing... I'm capable of placing both Jokers. I can place pretty much anything right now. But the card that I'm going to place is this, the 5 of Diamonds. And the reason I'm able to do this is because I place down the 5 of Hearts. So even though there's no diamond on either of these cards, I place the 5 of Hearts down, and I perform what is called a split by placing my second card down, which is only able to be placed because of the first card that I put down. That is a split. Now, something that cannot be done, that even I have made this mistake while playing, you cannot place down a face card such as the king and queen, not so much the jack, but if you cannot place down the king and queen and then say, for this purpose, I'm going to be using the king. But I cannot place down the king and then say diamonds and then switch and place down a diamond. That is not allowed. In order for you to use the ability of the kings and the queens, 2 cards must be placed down first. And also, a thing about the king and the queens is that upon placing them, it is not engraved in stone the decision that you made. So, say I place down King of Clubs and the 5 of Hearts, and I say I want to have it be clubs. Now, obviously, there will no longer be hearts because they are both become clubs. Even though this one already is clubs, this one is now clubs as well. So 5 of clubs and a king of clubs. But again, hypothetically, if I wanted to switch them to spades, it would be the king of spades and the 5 of spades. That's what you would have to imagine it as. However, in this scenario, I'm going to be saying clubs. All right? I would have to place down both of these in order to do that. It's a rather simple concept. You just cannot place down a king or queen and then change the value in order to place down another card. That is not allowed in the game. Once again, with the deck, if you cannot play, you draw 1 card. You do not keep on drawing until you're able to play. And if you do draw that 1 card, and that 1 card allows you to be able to play, you don't get to just play that card. You have to wait until your opponent goes, and then it's your turn again. So, that is about it for the game, I believe. And yeah, that's my game. It's called Base, and I hope you have fun playing it.